Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to the continuation of my Warhammer 40K Space Marine Hard Difficulty Guide. This is Chapter 10, House of Secrets. And it's a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but still it's quite a short chapter. And unfortunately I've got a bit more of a delay on my mic, OBS is playing up again, but nothing that can't be fixed. So for the most part you're going to be fighting auto turrets, because this is an Inquisition base and the auto turrets are made to target you. And when it comes to this chapter, it's going to be quite rough. Not for you, but for me. Because I did die a couple of times in the sequence, but it's mostly because I got rather impatient. Because you notice I got full health, I got my Fury, I got quite a lot of ammo. Not for my bolter really, but you know, you can use the plasma pistol or the bolt pistol, whatever you've got, and you can still get through the sequence just fine. And I believe you can take out these turrets before they actually activate. So you just need to look for the turrets that are like have the red light on them. For some reason, some of these turrets don't get. You can't take out some of these turrets, even though you can see them dangling there, and you're shooting at them, and they might take a little bit to bring down. But for some reason, because there was one instance where I had to restart the chapter. I think it was this one here, where I was taking shots at one of the turrets, and it wasn't activated yet, but it was just hanging there, and I was shooting at it trying to kill it, and it just wouldn't die. So there's two different kinds of turrets you need to keep an eye out for. There's this one here, which has those two sort of square blocks right there, and they fire missiles, but they fire them very quickly one after the other, so that when it hits you, it staggers you, and you can only get off a few shots before the next one hits you, and it does tons of damage. Just like that, look at that, look at how fast it is. If I didn't have that Lascannon ready to go to shoot at them, I probably would have died right then. So, I'm doing it completely wrong here. What I should be doing is using my plasma pistol, and just shooting at them constantly before I get to them to see if I can break them. But if even if I can't break them, I need to either use the Lascannon on the ones with the missiles, or if you see any of them with long barrels on them, that's how you know that they're the machine gun ones. See, that's what I should be doing with a plasma pistol. But it's because my bolter's running low on ammo, and I know I need it for future sections, and I don't want to waste too much of my Lascannon ammo. The auto turret sequence is not the smoothest I've ever gone through. In fact, my very first time through the game on hard difficulty, I cleared all the auto turrets without dying once. And I still had plenty of ammo to show for it, because that was a difficulty run I did where I used the plasma pistol and the bolt pistol for a good chunk of the game. You know, I was very sparing with my ammo, and I often found like, wow, I've got full ammo on everything. You know, they're very generous with the ammo counts, this is ridiculous. But in this particular sequence, this one chapter, they don't leave a lot of ammo lying around for you. So even if you're getting low on ammo and you need it for your bolter, they give you plenty of ammo for all your special guns and everything, but you want to save that stuff for the really dangerous occasions. So you'll be seeing me tank a lot of the shots and wasting my barrier away using the bolter or just using my pistol. You know, I think it's ridiculous, the fact that you can't swap out the bolter for anything else, meaning it's the most common weapon and the one that they give you a lot of ammo for, and the one that they rely on you using the most. But you can't just find a bolter lying on its own, you have to pick up ammo from out of a crate. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, even if they rebalance the game to make sure the special ammo you have for other guns like the Melta Gun or the Lascannon was greatly reduced, like say, you know, by 25%, so you hold 8 shots with the Melta Gun rather than 10 or 11, or you held 12 shots with the Lascannon instead of 16, and they either allowed you to carry more bolter ammo, or they made bolters more common to find, so you get more ammo for them rather than an ammo crate that can fill up everything. I know they did this in Space Marine 2, where there's tons of different bolter variants that all use the same ammo, so you can pick whatever bolter works for you. But my biggest gripe with that is the fact that they only allowed you to have 2 weapons. It's a big problem for me. I already knew that you could carry multiple weapons in this game more than Space Marine 2, but seeing it in action and seeing how good it is just really something. By the way, the Kraken Bolt upgrade, it basically improves your standard bolter weapon So not only do you get all your ammo back for the bolter, which is really good, but it gives your rounds a bit more of a kick. So when you're fighting against regular orcs like you have been, you're going to kill them just a little bit faster. I'm pretty sure it improves damage by like 20 or 25%, so it's not that much of an improvement, but you'll save a few shots for every orc you kill, or at least every orc that it's worth the bullets. And they'll do a little bit more damage when it comes to the forces of chaos, but when it comes to the corn demons, you don't really want to use the bolter, and when it comes to the chaos space marines, you want to use all your heavy weapons like your Lascannon or Stalker Bolter, and then save your regular bolter if they get stunned but they're far away and too far to reach, or if you know they're about to die and you just want to put a few rounds into their face and just finish them off from there, and then it's useful. Otherwise, for the most part, when it comes to the auto turrets, you don't really notice the difference between the regular bolt ammunition and the Kraken bolter. So you can technically dupe these missiles, you can move back and forth and miss them, but sometimes the splash damage still causes you to stagger. So I should have been dead right then, but I wasn't, luckily. But I made a big mistake. What you should be doing is using the plasma pistol and ducking in and out, just taking a couple of shots at a time. Because if you move in and out of cover too often or too quickly without waiting, then they'll always be poised to strike the moment you come out. But if you wait a few seconds, then it has a bit more of a delay on it, so that when you pop out to go and shoot them, there's a bit more of a delay. Another thing you can do if you're far enough away from them is just dive roll back and forth, so then the missiles will always miss you. You can also use the third-person cover trick that just about every third-person shooter has, where you just stick yourself up against the wall, and if you move out just enough, you can shoot either through the geometry or just around the geometry, but your body is still completely covered. It doesn't really work for a few of these turrets because you saw that a few of them were moving back and forth across the wall, so that strategy doesn't really work, but you can take advantage of the fact that they move in behind pillars and stuff, so you're giving yourself some cover and a moment to breathe. So it was very lucky right there, but I still got hit. And I think the missiles fire way too fast, because even if you get caught by the missile, if you keep getting caught, there's just no way you can avoid it. So now I'm sort of dive rolling for my life, taking a few shots here and there to wear them down. And there I go, almost dead. So there's like 3 or 4 different occasions where I'm almost dead, and I probably should be. But just keep in mind that I had to restart certain checkpoints. Like, checkpoints are pretty generous in this chapter, especially for all these auto turret sequences and all that, and that's great. I'm glad that it is. But I was very reckless, and you do not want to be as reckless as I am. Not only will you feel better about playing through and beating the sequence more than I was, but you'll have a much easier time saving ammo by using your plasma pistol or bolt pistol, whatever you've got. And you should be all good. So there's only one more major auto turret sequence left to go, I'm pretty sure. And it's one of the easier ones, because again, you can use the third person cover trick and exploit it really well here, because of the angle where it knows you're there, it's targeting you, and it's firing the missiles, but there's a good chance that you'll be able to use the cover to your advantage, because the cover's angled a little bit. I don't need Fury going forward for a lot, so I'm just going to activate Fury to get my health back. I probably don't need to do that, because when you die, I believe you get all your health back and your barrier back straight away, so whatever sequence you're on, or whatever checkpoint you're up to, if you went into it with barely any health, you're going to get all your health back, and you're still going to have Fury available. But then again, even if I did do this and I died, I would have gone back to the beginning with Fury available, and I would have had all my health back. So it's kind of a waste, but it's like I said in previous chapters as well, you get it so frequently and so often that it doesn't matter if you go trigger happy with it, because you get it back so quickly. And now we've just got Supreme Fury, where I believe we earn Fury a lot faster. So now, if you thought that it was already fast and you could use Fury a lot, now you can use it a lot. So yeah, if there's any guns on the wall there that take your fancy, you can go ahead and pick them up to replace them, or you can get more ammo for them. But otherwise, for the most part, this chapter's pretty easy going. It's just one biggish fight that you've got to worry about that could catch you out because there's a lot of open areas, there's not a lot of cover. It's the yellow orcs you want to keep an eye out for because, you know, you're right in the middle of two different waves coming at you from different sides. Even though you've got a bunch of melee guys coming after you, you'll want to focus on the guys with the guns. The best thing to do is to keep pushing forward until you trigger both areas, and then just back up. Back up and go back the way you came into the room, so that way you've got a bit of cover at least, and you can take them as they come for you. Because the melee dudes will always follow you, and even if the yellow orcs don't follow you, it's not really a problem, and you can take out the swigs as well. But because I know that the next chapter is mostly very easy, and doesn't have a lot of fighting, and there's one sequence you can skip entirely by running away, I don't really need Fury for that sequence. But for this, if I'm ever in a spot of bother, I just can't be fucked fighting them, I go ahead and use Fury and get my health back and just lay into them. So you can stick a power source in here, and then you've got to wait a little while for the door to open to the left, and then you catch the lift up to the top. And so begins the next chapter, which will lead us into the finale, and that will take us to the fourth act of the game. So there's nothing really else to go on from there. Act 4 is not too bad. It does have a few really tough sequences that I'll tell you about when I get to them, but for the most part it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth sailing. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the finale of Act 3. You all take care now.